What's up, good people? Today is February the 21st, 2026. I hope everybody had a great week. I hope your weekend is going good as well. But I had to come on here and talk to you guys. I hadn't posted it in the videos. I hadn't been posting them, I should say, videos frequently or as often as I once was, but I had to speak to you guys. Just reason being, with this new president, there's always something to talk about. It seems when it comes down to this president, and I said it before that this whole presidency is nothing but a carnival, a sideshow. You understand? In which that's what carnivals are there for, entertainment. But when it comes down to politicians, especially when we're talking about a president, it's truly not a fun and games position. This is a real 100% serious position that this guy is holding, but things aren't taken seriously like they should be. But here's my thing, and it's a couple of things, but for one, I want to speak about how he's saying Obama broke the law and gave out confidential information or whatever have you, secret information that shouldn't have been revealed, classified information. And all was said by Barack Obama was that he believes that there are aliens, but that's his personal belief. It's not something that was told to him or information that he found out while being president that made him to come to believe in there being aliens. Now, if he would have said something to the effect of, well, I didn't believe in him until I became president, or, oh man, I wish I could answer that question, man, but this is top secret information. It's just something I can't say. Then that's basically saying yes, that there are aliens. But the guy was just being honest. He gave his honest opinion. And he also said that if there is anything in Area 51, then he had never seen it. He didn't have access to it. But anyway, so after that, because it started blowing up over the internet, and we have to understand that we have a childish person sitting at the big desk when it comes down to the presidency. And he immediately came out and said also that he's going to release, that he may declassify all of the classified information that the government has pertaining to aliens, so that everyone can see all of that information that's been classified for more than likely 70 to 80 years, or more. That's how old some of this information would be that he would be releasing. And so he does this out of, once again, jealousy. He doesn't want Obama to be the talk of the town, y'all. Obama was president back in 2012 or 2014. You don't understand? It's Donald Trump's time. So he had to come back with something in order to what politicians call it, recapture his time. And he also is thinking about releasing those classified documents because of the fact that the Epstein files are getting more attention than anything else in this country right now, y'all. Because more and more people are starting to see that through the actions that Donald Trump is taking, that there's a high possibility that he's probably in those files as well. And he's just not mentioning those files just to be mentioned. You understand me? Especially mention the amount of times that his name does come up in the files. So he's trying to figure out and come up with any and every idea possible in order to try and distract the people of this country from seeing what's really going on when it comes down to these Epstein files. Because like I told you in a previous video, that Donald Trump is the reason why Epstein is no longer able to speak, or it has been silenced, whatever that could be. Whether they went in and snuck him out that jail and put him on some island somewhere, and or if they did take his life. But they did that in order to cover up all of the valuable information that would once again destroy. You know, you hear me? If the information came out, the real information came out, companies like Tesla would literally go under the ground. They would literally go bankrupt overnight if the facts were to be released when it comes down to these big time billionaires in this country and in other countries. If the information was to come out about any of those people, it's a strong possibility that those businesses would literally flop. In a matter of a day, those businesses would see such a drastic drop in any type of funding coming from the society that these people would go into panic mode. The guy from Tesla would probably be on the verge of taking his own life because of the amount of money he and that company are on the cusp of losing because of the Epstein files slowly revealing the type of people that many others in this country were looking up to. We're calling these people heroes, thinking that these people truly were the type of people you would want to be like. And if you do want to be like them, then you should suffer the same fate that they're going to suffer, because it's going to come out. But he's trying to cover all that up, y'all. Trying to bring out this stuff and do things. And because the Epstein stuff is suffocating so much that it literally, the Obamas and the apes and gorillas, that's people forgot that happened. That's no longer even a subject title right now. That don't even matter right now. You know, forget the fact that he just showed that he does have a racist bone somewhere in his body, in which that should have been known. Because when someone speaks about another group of people the way that Trump spoke about them, that means he has a dislike for them, y'all. People just don't speak negatively about a group of people like the Republicans have, and they do, and feel like these are good people and truly care about those people. They have a hatred, in which a hatred towards another group of people because of how they look is racism. And that's what the United States wanted as well. They wanted this country to be overtaken by that white nationalist ideology once again. But it's going to be difficult. You're going to have bloodshed over something that, once again, you will not ever own like you once owned. You understand? The nationalists will not ever have the power to be able to put brown and black people back into slavery. It's not going to happen. So you want another civil war? You have a civil war within your own country over ignorance. And then not only that, you break ties with you're breaking ties with all of our real allies and creating ties or creating new allies with countries that are minuscule compared to the type of allies a country may actually need in the time of a possible war. I mean, some small countries, y'all, it's several other countries are signing up for Donald Trump's peace or something, whatever the name of that thing that Trump is doing, that is literally the opposite of the whatever they call that thing, the treaty with all of the other countries where you have your alliances and stuff. But this is what we got going on, y'all. This guy wants to create his own government. He wants to create all of his own laws. He wants it to where, even though a lot of people think it's a joke, but he literally means it when he says that people should lose their lives if they don't agree with what he agrees with. He means that. He's not saying that as a joke. He may say it with a smile on his face, but he's the type of person that enjoys seeing other people suffer. When someone can smile when saying something that is extremely terrible like that, that means that they have an enjoyment when it comes down to that type of emotions being expressed. And this, once again, is what this country created. They created this monster that is now the president of the United States. And all honesty, he has lost a lot of followers. A lot of people don't look at him the same. But it's possibly too late to change anything. But that's a whole nother story. But I just had to come on here and say something about that, because we see it time and time again to where a statement will come from the White House about what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. And then whatever it was they were going to do, we quickly forget about it. And we move on to the next thing that they're saying that they're going to do, or that they possibly may even do. And we forget about what they should have did the first time. Meaning that they use distractions in order to try and pull our attention away from things that we should be focusing more on. In which Epstein is a big problem when it comes to continuing to allow the president to be the president of this country and to allow the billionaires to be the billionaires of this country. There's a problem there, and England knows that there's a problem. But we also have to realize and understand that Donald Trump is also and has also created a quiet war, so to speak, when it comes down to Iran. And I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, the Epstein files and stuff, they're terrible. Those people need to be prosecuted. Democrat, Republican, independent, felony, non-voter, whatever your description is. But if a war kicks off, That's even worse. And we're on the verge of these types of things happening, but because so much is happening at once that our attentions are being pulled in so many directions that we are oftentimes not focusing on the things that are going to mean the most to our lives and to our family lives when it's all said and done. And that's the wars that are lingering. Because like I said, we got to understand that England does not agree with anything for the most part that is going on in the United States right now. England knows, and that's why England acted and did something when it came down to the fact that the king's brother was involved with Epstein. And so we know that the king also knows who was involved from the United States or from South Africa and these other places, who was involved and what actually went on when they were there as well. And so it's creating a bigger rift that was already being created because the King of England knew better even from the start. Epstein has been around for years. The files have been around for years. So the King of England already knew. And he wanted to see what Donald Trump was going to truly do and what type of so-called man Donald Trump truly is. And he's proven it time and time again. That's why every time you see him meeting with somebody, it's typically when they both shake hands and walk away with nothing being agreed upon when it comes down to the major countries. And that's why they're not going to agree with anything with Donald Trump, because they know what type of past this guy had. And don't get me wrong, we all got a past. But when your past involved sleeping with underage people intentionally and willingly and knowingly and did it repeatedly, we have a problem, Houston. And I don't care if you're 95 at this point in time. You're guilty. And this is where we are. And this is the chaos that we have to deal with when trying to run a country efficiently. When we have to worry about all of the cuts that were made, all of the different benefits and stuff, the amounts are about to change, healthcare is about to change, all of this stuff is changing and has been disrupted, all because the country is such a disrupted country right now that they wanted disruption to be in control. But then when they start to really get to see what it looks like, how their lives are right now, this is how many Americans live and think, is the example that we have coming from the White House. And they don't like it. But they are being shown the type of mentality and the type of people that they are and that they have been. It ain't nothing wrong with repenting and changing. I would love for you to do that. But Trump has mentioned it time and time again how he is not going to get into heaven. And people are still praying and saying, oh, he's just joking. Getting into heaven is not a joke. That is not something that you joke about. That is blasphemous. And he's saying it once again because he believes it. One time, all right. 2 times, oh, 3 times, man, this dude really believes what he's saying. And he's done that. And people are still running around here talking about pray for him. He's such the biggest Christian. So was a lot of these KKK leaders and a lot of these Klan members back in the days were called Christians as well. And the ones that are still around will tell you that they are some of the biggest Christians in the Christian community. So you can't just take that word Christian and automatically think that a person is a good person and that they're Christ-like because they're telling us they are. But then they sit there and they prove differently time and time again. And it's great that more and more people are waking up because they want you to walk around here sleep. It was sleeping Joe Biden, but Donald Trump falls asleep more than the seventh dwarf or the dwarf, you understand? Stay with his eyes closed. But it's sleepy-eyed Joe. It's this, it's that. And everything negatively that he spoke upon Joe Biden, he is now suffering and doing right before the very people that he sat there and spoke negatively about the past president for doing. He's doing the exact same things. And he's doing worse. And if it was Joe Biden, we'd have people protesting right now. Just because it was Joe Biden. And how the Democrats are the ones that are ruining the country. But they don't realize that it's politics that are ruining this country. Republicans are guilty. Democrats are guilty. Politics are guilty. But y'all take it easy out there. I had to just come on here and say something about this, man, because it's ridiculous. And not only just that, too, how the court struck down this tariff thing in which, once again, the law, because the way that laws are, that's why they always tell people who may go to court or something, are you going to represent yourself or do you want to be represented by someone else? Because the laws have been created to be so darn confusing that the people that even represent the law can't get it right. And I say this and I say that just because, these tariffs that they striking down, he done put tariffs on these countries since he been in office. So now a year later, they striking down a certain aspect of the tariffs. What part of it, all of it, a portion of them. But he still can go back though. And he can go and put tariffs on those same countries, but he can only do it for up to 150 days without having to have approval from Congress or from the courts, which are the same courts that struck him down in the first place. He got struck down, but yet there's a clause in the law where he can still go and re-implement these tariffs for 150 days before he had to go and try and get approval again so that they can say, well, you know what, after these 150 days, you had these tariffs in place for 278 days. But after these 150 days, you have proven that these tariffs work. And then all of a sudden they change their mind and they can re-implement the tariffs. But that's what I mean by they have made the laws so confusing that they're confused. When they get to talking, they sound like a bunch of confused people sometimes just because they know that certain things that they can say, legally, you can't hold it against them. And it's ridiculous. It's total chaos when it comes down to politics and the political society in this country right now. The political state in this country right now is ridiculous. So, he got struck down, but now he gonna hit him even harder with the tariffs is what he has said. But yet it has been proven, which I give him this much, he has only been president for a little bit over a year. Yes. So is that enough time for anything to really change? Not really. You understand? So how long would something like that take? Probably about 30 years, 25 years. So for him to even try and come in and implement these things was showing me, like I've said it before, that he wants to be a dictator. Because the things that he's trying to do and he wants to do will not take 4 years. It is going to take decades for anything to get better, if they were to get better from anything that he's trying and has implemented. But it's not, because you're going to have other people come in, other presidents, and the law is going to change. So when I tell you that it's the government and the politics that have been destroying the lives of the people, but yet we as the people still go on November, whatever the date is, and vote for them. And our lives still have not gotten any better by voting for these people. Because I say it like this: Martin Luther King was not ever president if he was the face of civil rights movement, and if he was the reason why civil rights really did change in this country. So I say that there could be many others that I just don't know of and can't say right now. But them ones, but the politics, they ain't doing it for us, y'all. But y'all take it easy out there, like I say, man, and y'all keep your heads up. Y'all try to do anything in your power to stay positive, man, to think positively. Because when they take that from us, when that's taken from us, then we almost have nothing to live for. Because negativity is what's killing society, what's killing us. It's negativity. But y'all take it easy out there, man. I hope to talk to you soon.